Welcome to Mando and Friends, presented by Verizon. My name is Mando Fresco, and today we have a very special friend. I have a whole list of things that you do here. TV host, actress, social media superstar, entrepreneur, Julissa Bermudez. What's up? How are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so excited to be here. And just seeing this growth is amazing, Mando.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so excited and proud of you. Like, this is awesome, for real.
Thank you. Yeah, Julissa and I, we go back, man. We go back, and it's good to see, I guess, like our mutual growth and hustle.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what was it, like 2016, I think that's what I think when we met around that time.
Yes.
We had launched Hubwave.
Yes.
Where we are now. And
It's wild
to see everything that you're doing, everything that you've done. You're one person that always stays super busy. You just launched
I try
something very, very important that we'll talk about in a little bit. But
Yes.
All right, so this show is all about inspiring and motivating. And I knew from the get-go that I needed to have you on this seat, Julie,
the hot seat,
because of all the amazing things you do, and you do for the community, and just when it comes to representation, you do that so well, of working your butt off, but also waving the Latino flag,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So anyway, I'm super excited to have you here. I want to take it back. People know you for the million things that you do, and you do well.
I'm a multi-hyphenate hustler.
Yes,
that is for sure.
And you do very, very well.
Thank you.
I want to take it back to when you initially
Don't age me, Mando. How way back are we talking?
When you first got into the entertainment business, it was your love for hosting.
Yes.
TV hosting. How did that come about? And, I always ask this question when it came to your family, to your parents, when you told them, hey, I want to be a TV host. How was that for them and for you?
Well, it actually started with the love for the arts, growing up in New York, and Broadway, the Great White Way, and going to Times Square and thinking like, oh, one day this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because in New York, they actually let you choose a high school, a specialty high school. So if you want to study to be a pilot, you can go to Aviation High School, which is in Queens, by the way. Shout out to Queens.
Hey.
But I went to Performing Arts High School and traveled from Queens into the city to study drama and theater arts. That was my major. So my love really was there for that. But how I got into it, and it wasn't even so much that I told my parents, like, this is what I want to do. It was more about attending Sweet 16 of a cousin of mine that I didn't even know was my cousin, because, Latino families. That's just how that goes down sometimes. And my mom told one of my cousins, Jeronimo, who was auditioning, and he was acting and doing a bunch of different things in the arts and in the entertainment business. So my mom was like, ponte a hablar con tu primo, él está haciendo toda esa vaina. So I was like, okay, mom. So me puse a hablar con mi primo. And he was telling me how he had this manager, this viejita out of Long Island, that would send them on auditions. And he gave me her info. And I said, okay, cool. So I ended up sending her a picture of mine. Didn't hear anything for months. And then out of nowhere, she messages me saying that she's having auditions. She comes into the city every month and a half or something to hold auditions, because she was based in Long Island. And that's how she would do her sort of scouting. So I go, I audition for her. She makes me read this commercial. I remember it vividly. And then I don't hear anything again.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, there goes that. And then she sends me my very first commercial. And it was a Wendy's commercial. And I booked it.
Nice.
And that's how I got my SAG card and became a SAG-AFTRA member. And then everything kind of snowballed from there. She sent me on an audition for a show called The Roof. If you know me from that, then you know that that was the first show that I ever hosted in life. Had no idea what I was doing, bopping around, barely knew what a prompter was because we didn't even have that. It was very budget.
Yeah.
We literally had a Sony TV screen next to the camera. So I thought that that's what a prompter was because that's where the words were.
Yep.
So for a long time, I was completely hosting, looking in the wrong direction and quickly learned like you might want to look into the camera if you want to connect to the audience. So needless to say, that was my training ground, if you will. I was a sponge every day on set, learning, growing. And that's what ended up happening. I did The Roof for almost 2 years, and that was based in Miami. So I essentially picked up and left my family and went to Miami to do that.
Wow.
And then went
at this
back
point,
to New
how
York.
old are you at this point?
I was 19.
Wow.
I was 18 when I booked it, and then 19 when I actually started. I turned 19 a few months after and started on TV and hosting. And that was the first time that, I even was on camera besides, going on auditions and doing commercials and stuff. And that was my training ground, truly. And then as green as I was, and green is a term in the business, as you know, when you're very new and fresh and you kind of don't know what you're doing. But as green as I was, I knew enough that the contract that they were throwing my way was going to lock me in for a really long time and not that much pay. And I thought to myself, dang, like, I think that I need to go back to New York, and didn't sign the contract, and took a huge leap in basically going back to New York to see what that was going to do. And in between, I did some modeling, and then I auditioned for BET when they were looking for hosts, and then I booked that. And a lot of people think that that was my very first hosting job, but it actually wasn't. BET came after The Roof and Mundos, and then came MTV, and things sort of built, and it was kind of, I never looked back after that.
Yo, you know what? I remember you on Mundos.
Really?
Like, now that you're telling me,
string bean.
No, like I remember that, and of course, a lot of people know you from 106 in Park.
Mm-hmm. Which was a show that I never was supposed to host, but we can get into that.
Yeah, I mean, how big of an impact was that for you, being like, I guess, your big break, you can call?
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you?
I mean, I even say Mundos too, because we were, I still think to this day, personally, obviously people can disagree, but I think that being on Mundos as a network, and The Roof in particular, that was a trailblazing show. There wasn't any other show that was live for 2 hours that was showcasing the different genres of music that we were mixing.
Yeah.
We had Tego Calderon, Daddy Yankee, Ivy Queen, all of them on way before reggaeton became the Latin wave, or, a moment for mainstream music, Then we also had hip hop artists. The first person I ever interviewed was Fat Joe. Then we also had DJs like DJ Tiesto, because The Roof then started doing Dance Fridays, and we had a bunch of different DJs from that genre of music. So it was really, when I say groundbreaking and trailblazing, in that regard.
Right.
There wasn't any other show that was mixing also West Coast Latinos with Latinos in Texas, and then also Latinos on the East Coast. So that was different in that sense as well. Overall, I think we were definitely ahead of the times.
Yeah.
And for those that know, they know. And it was great, because to this day, I'm still a huge fan of all the genres of music. I still love reggaeton. I still listen to all the genres of music, and to see, when Daddy Yankee, had the big Latin wave of Gasolina, and that was the thing that they wanted to label. And I was like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, this is not a wave. This is part of the culture, and it's here for mainstay. It's not just a blip in what's pop culture at the moment.
Right, especially, and now to see what it's done worldwide.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Bad Bunny being like the biggest artist in the world.
Exactly. So it was really cool. I mean, when you're young and ambitious and like have all that energy, and when you are green, that's the beauty. The most beautiful thing about being labeled green or new and fresh and all these things is because you're learning. And shoot, I didn't grow up with anybody famous in my family, so my parents thought I made it when I was on Telemundo and Mundos.
Yeah,
They're like, ay, ¿cuándo tú no vas a comprar una casa? And I'm like, don't get it twisted. Just because I'm on TV does not mean I'm rich, which you also quickly learn. I mean, there's so many things, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I got to literally leave New York and go to Miami to host my first show. And who does? I mean, when you just say it out loud, it's like, wow, a dream.
No, that's crazy. That's great. Like at 19 to do that, I started doing radio at 18, 19. And that was like, so I moved from Southgate to Burbank, which is roughly, I mean, in traffic, an hour.
Right.
And that was eye-opening for me because I got to see, and I was still in LA County, but it was still very eye-opening. I got outside of my bubble. I'm sure that was huge for you.
Yeah. Did you intern first? How did it go for you?
So I started doing promotions.
Okay.
Because when I wanted to be an intern,
and please don't hate me if I don't know this story.
They didn't take no. So okay. They didn't. So I tried to be an intern at Power, and they didn't call me back to be an intern.
Okay.
3 months later, I'm at a CVS and I get a call, and they're like, "Hey, are you still interested to work at Power?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm still interested." But
so
now
your long ass CVS receipt is printing. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm over here like, yes. Hold on. I'm gotta roll this up real quick. And I got a call back, but it wasn't to be an intern anymore. It was to be in promotions. It was to be part of the street team. So I was in the street team for 6 months. And 6 months later, one of the program directors just walked up to me and he said, "Hey, we really like your personality. Are you interested to be on the radio?" And I was like, internally, I was like, what? Are you kidding? Like, what the hell?
Did you play it off cool?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I was like, yeah, I'm interested. Right. But inside, I'm like dying. I'm like melting inside. And yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. They asked for a demo, gave him a demo, actually gave him 3 demos.
Wow.
But the thing is, they knew they wanted me to hop in and be on the radio after the first demo. The second and the third is just to see how bad I wanted it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you end up recording that and learning the board? And because I've never done, I mean, I've dabbled in radio, but I've never had a radio show.
Yeah.
And people always talk about the board, and it's actually a lot easier to learn, but that always intimidated me. I'm like, oh, I don't know, that's a lot of buttons.
Yeah. No, the board,
Next
the board is
I'm
pretty.
off the air, pressing the wrong button, and people are like, what's happening? Fire her.
I used to have nightmares. This is real. I used to have nightmares of dead air. Right? When I would just be dreaming that the music went off and I tried hitting another song and I had I had my mixer up, I had my levels up and everything, but there was still like nothing going on the air. And I'd had a few nightmares like that. But no, it could be overwhelming at first because you see the board, it's like huge.
Yeah. And so many buttons.
But you'd be surprised. It's almost like really 4 to 8 buttons that you really just press.
Okay.
Like 4 with the mics and then 4 with the music, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
It's an intimidating thing to have in front of you. It's like a spaceship, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's actually a great way to describe it.
Yeah. So I recorded my first demo in my college. So I was going to Cerritos College. Shout out to Cerritos College.
AutoZone. I know that commercial. It's Cerritos AutoZone. That's the only way I know Cerritos.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Auto Square. Oh, okay. Auto Square. Well, maybe I don't know the commercial.
It's like a whole boulevard of cars.
Oh.
They have every single dealership.
Auto Square? Okay,
there you
got
go.
it.
Cerritos Auto Square. Yeah, shout out to them.
I'm not from here, but when I first moved here, I would hear it all the time. And I'm like, where is Cerritos?
Yeah. Have you been to Cerritos before?
I actually have, because I have a friend of mine, Jerry, who does fulfillment, and his warehouse is in Cerritos. So the first time I ever went to go visit him, I was like, where's this Auto Square zone or whatever it was?
Yeah. So the college, Cerritos College, is like a few blocks away from Cerritos Auto Square. So that's where I was going to college, and I was going for radio and TV broadcasting. Nice. And we had a whole little radio station there, and that's where I first recorded. I recorded all 3 demos off Cerritos College.
That's so poppin'.
Yeah. I was hungry, you know.
See, the value of the arts and giving opportunities. I mean, like I said, in New York, they do have specialty schools where if you are interested in something, plus I think it also saves you a lot of time as well. I mean, I don't know if they have those kind of high schools out here, but the fact that you can go to a college that's local and start to experiment in something that you think that you really want to do, because people waste a lot of time in something that they think they want to do, and then when they get to doing it, or they go through the whole program and then realize this is not what I want to do at all.
Right.
So
they go through the whole program, they graduate, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do something else.
I'm gonna be an actor.
Yeah. It happens. See, I always tell people to go to college just to figure something out, like see what you love, right? Like what's funny is out of high school, I had the grades to go to like a UC to go and transfer to a university, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, Julie. I had no clue. So I went to a community college to figure it out, and I figured it out. And
hello, you definitely figured it out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. So let's talk about you're a multi-hyphenated talent, creative entrepreneur. You have a new show.
Yes.
Called
It's
Me, Julissa. Talk to me about your new program.
So It's Me, Julissa. It's a show on YouTube, essentially my YouTube channel, but also on my Clio TV, which is, so Clio TV is part of the TV One family, and it is their women's empowerment network, if you will. They have awesome programming geared towards women of color, Latinas, and I just think what they're doing is amazing. And when I got approached, I said, well, and I even told you this when I got here, I'm like, do you feel weird? Because I'm so used to being the one doing the interview.
Right.
So I personally, I'm never a fan of getting interviewed myself.
Yeah.
But obviously this is different because it's exactly. We're friends, and I can remember some memories of when we met because we actually were brand ambassadors for Hennessy, and this trip where we really bonded with all the other ambassadors, we drank a lot.
Yeah. Shout out to Los Racas.
Yes. Shout out to Los Racas. We drank so much on that trip and had the best time. They flew us out to Paris, and it was amazing. Shout out to Hennessy because they really gave us a world-class experience, first-class experience. And it wasn't just about, the drinking, and it was how to drink like on a curated next level. And I don't know about you, but I learned so much in how to entertain. And when you do have like the things that you can do with drinking and how to put together, a sophisticated cocktail and all these things that were, and also then the elements of the arts that they incorporated in our trip and the whole ambassador program. I thought that was so dope. And obviously I got to meet cool people like you, Los Racas. Who else was on that trip? I'm trying to remember now.
It was us three for the most part. And we had, our guests, our family. You took your mom with you.
Yes, that was the first time my mom ever went to Paris, and the fact that I got to give her that experience was insane. We stayed at which we still aren't sure if it's haunted or not.
Yeah, we stayed at the famous Hennessy Chateau.
Yes. Chateau de Banglonnet, which is the House of Hennessy. And it was, man, that trip was planes, trains, and automobiles.
For sure.
We literally had to fly so I flew from LA to then pick up my mom in New York. So then flew from New York, I went LA, New York, Paris. And then when we landed in Paris, we had to take a train to the House of Hennessy, the chateau, which was in the countryside of France.
Oh my God.
And yeah, Cognac. It was in Cognac.
In Cognac, France.
Cognac.
I didn't even know there was a city called Cognac.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But champagne, that's where they make champagne. Cognac, that's where they make cognac. So we had to take a train from Paris to Cognac and then a bus from when we got to Cognac to the real countryside, which was another, I mean, yo estaba mareada. I was straight up dizzy. And I was falling asleep everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I literally, any chance I got was like,
I do remember.
Because the time difference was 8 hours. First time I ever experienced that. But we had such a good time. And like I said, I got to meet you, like really bond and, you know, really dope people. So, wow, that was 2016.
That's crazy. What I remember most about that trip when it came to the experience was that they had this liquid within the barrels called the eau de vie.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is water of life, the eau de vie. And I had no idea. I really, prior to going to Cognac, France, I thought it was just like, you know, like the way they would make soda or something, like water and like put the syrup in there or whatever. You make cognac,
make
like
it
bam,
fizz, and you're good.
Yeah,
not at all.
No, not at all. So they have these barrels, a bunch of barrels, where they have the eau de vie. And then they have this family that tests these eau de vies, you know, on a daily basis. And they say, okay, this barrel is ready. This barrel is not ready. Let's put it back into, you know, with the rest of the barrels. And sometimes there's barrels that have been there for like 80 plus years.
Oh my gosh. That was mind blowing.
And it just made me think about how greatness takes time. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes it's just not ready.
What a great takeaway.
It's not ready. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I really, really took that in, and I'm like, man, you have to take your time with certain things for it to be great.
Yes. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Dropping gems.
I mean,
I'm like, do you remember how much we drank on that trip? He's like, all philosophical about it. I'm like, wow, dang, you're right. Because I do remember that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that was a really dope experience because they let us do some tasting.
Right. So we would taste the eau de vies. Yeah. Right? Like we knew what we were doing.
Not at all. I was like, as long as I keep my pinky up in the air, I might look like I know what I'm doing, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's crazy, like the amount, like the family. It's like it's stricter than like a presidential family. They can't travel on the same plane or in the same car. Like they can't afford losing more than, I guess, one person at a time if an accident does happen. It's so important what this family does for, you know, for this company.
That's crazy to remember that because there were so many elements of that trip, and that was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure. Even meeting the members of that family that do that specifically. I mean, that is one of the most specific jobs I think I ever even knew existed.
Right. And just to think like, no, this one's not ready. Right. It's not quite ready. Let's put it back. And think about how long some of these barrels have been in there. Like every year, every couple months, they like take a sip and they're like, no, let's put it back.
Yeah.
And some eau de vies are ready like within a year.
Right.
So that's crazy.
And even just seeing the process, visiting the distillery and seeing the distillation. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yes. Process.
You got it.
I'm like, give me the word. Where's the word? But visiting the distillery and, you know, saying like minimum of 3 months, it's in there getting prepped for, you know, the average bottle that you're like swinging around in the club.
Right. And it's not just like, you know, what's in these barrels. It's not cognac yet.
Right.
You know, it becomes cognac when you mix different eau de vies.
Yes.
It's mind blown, man.
Right here.
That's crazy. But It was definitely like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Have you been back to France after that?
I haven't been back to France.
Really?
I know you have.
Was that your first time ever?
It was.
Wow.
It was.
Okay.
It was my first time ever. I've been to Europe a few times, but I haven't gone back to France or Paris. I know you have recently.
Yes.
Couple of weeks ago.
I went in the summertime, towards the end of the summer. I fell in love. I mean, hello, said every girl ever, right? I fell in love with Paris and just thought, okay, where else can I explore? Because one thing about Europe, one thing about, I guess, certain places in Europe, once you're there, it's a lot easier to travel to other countries within Europe. So then I started going to Ibiza for the summers. I was obsessed with London, and I still want to go back. And obviously now that things are open again, tackle all these other places. I want to go to Amsterdam, which I didn't get a chance. I haven't done that yet. So,
what's your favorite thing about Paris?
Besides the shopping and the accents, I love, this might be random, but I love French eggs and breakfast. Like French scrambled eggs with a baguette, winning.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it's very specific. But,
it is very specific.
And it's crazy because I love Dominican breakfast. And this is the weirdest thing about it, because I never eat breakfast on my day-to-day, but I love some French breakfast, and Dominican breakfast are my favorite.
That's cool. I'm not a big egg guy, but I'm open to trying new things. What's in a French?
So their eggs, the way they're scrambled, first of all, they take their time in low heat. I believe you make them with cream. They have chives, but it's the way they scramble them, the process. They're fluffy. They're not like super well done. And then that warm baguette with that butter.
The bread's so fire in France.
Bread. And it's so organic in a sense that you can eat all the bread in the world out there, and for some reason you don't gain weight.
Yeah. I remember everywhere we went, it was like, here, try this bread. Here, have this bread.
Everything.
Here's some more bread. Yeah. No, it's definitely a good time. Speaking of a good time, you've been having, it seems like, the time of your life with this new endeavor.
Yes.
This endeavor, this entrepreneurial jump for you. Because, I mean, you've been an entrepreneur, but now you're kind of stepping into a whole new thing with República.
Yes.
I know we have República right over here.
On deck.
What can you tell me
Thank you.
about this amazing product of yours?
I love that you have taken away that I am having the time of my life, because entrepreneurship is, it may look fun, but trust me, it's not all fun and games.
It's not for the weak.
It is certainly not for the weak. It might as well be Game of Thrones. It is Murphy's Law in a sense. Anything that could go wrong will absolutely, positively go wrong. And that is to say, and really entrepreneurship for me, because you said that I have been, but this is the first time that I've created something that I don't have to show up for physically to make money. So this is living on a website, republicaskin.com, and having this conversation with you right now. People are checking it out. They're checking out, they're buying it, hopefully, God willing.
Yeah.
It's a different form of creative, artistic expression, and not physically having to show up somewhere to collect a bag and a paycheck. So it's a sugar body polish. This is my debut product. It's a heritage brand. It's inspired by Dominican Republic, which is where I was born. And the reason why it's a sugar body polish is because I was obsessed with exfoliating. Like, I wanted to figure out, how can I create a product or get my body to look like when I'm in the Caribbean, which is supple, dewy, glowy. And growing up in New York, ashy, dry, flaky, that was not the case. Visiting the Dominican Republic, in my childhood and back and forth from New York to Santo Domingo and getting inspired by the Caribbean. That's how it came about. And sugar, because it's one of the most natural resources that we do have in Dominican Republic. And that's really how it came about. And I wanted to create a luxury product that wasn't going to be at a luxury price.
Wow.
So when you get República, it's 16.9 ounces of product. And when you open it, you'll see it's got little toquecitos, I like to call them, that make it special. Born in Dominican Republic, made in the USA.
Amazing.
So yeah, this is my baby right here that I've been working on.
Can I?
Of course. You should open it and
should I open it?
Yeah, do an unboxing.
All right. I don't want to open it. Should we open it? No, I don't want to open it for you.
You're so funny.
Open it.
Open it.
All right.
Here, I have nails. I'll take the seal off so that.
All right. Yeah, you take the seal off, nice and seamless there. No, it's a beautiful packaging. I've seen on your IG. There you go. All right, I've seen on your IG.
Men are so funny when it comes to products and beauty and skincare and body products. It's like, by the way, this is for everybody because we can all get dry, ashy, and flaky, okay?
Hell, yes, we can.
So that's a trifold. When you open it up, it's got some product information, brand story, QR code that leads you to the site, and just more information about it. Everything has been really thought out and curated. I didn't think I was a perfectionist until I started this process. It's been in the making for about 2.5 years. I was really adamant about making it vegan, cruelty-free, organic, and it was really hard to find a lab that can sort of meet those needs and also with the scent and how I wanted it to feel.
This is exciting.
Yeah,
exciting
really
stuff.
is.
What can you tell me about? I'm a dude.
So that's a bamboo scoop.
A bamboo scoop. I was gonna call it a spoon. You see?
Yeah, I mean it's a wooden spoon as well. And it's, when I say bamboo, it's all natural materials. So it's 100% bamboo. So it's not gonna go bad in the shower.
Super
and
cool.
The reason why I wanted to do the scoop is because I'm a girl. I have long nails. Sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long. However, but I mix it up. And people in general, I didn't want you to have to dig into the product. So I thought the scoop was a really nice way to experience the product and also not wasteful, so you can get what you need. Now we've been sanitizing, washing our hands so much, so when it feels dry, you just take a little scoop and boom, 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 brand new hands. Take a scoop when that pedicure is at that 3rd week mark and it's not that fresh. You take a scoop, you hit your feet, brand new feet. Yeah, please open it and smell it, because that's really where I think
that's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens when you experience it in the comfort of your own home and shower. But
wow, this smells amazing.
Do you feel transported? That was also the goal. I wanted you to feel as if you took a trip to the Caribbean.
I'm in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Right now.
So that's macadamia oil, avocado oil, vitamin E, shea butter, cocoa butter. I mean, all the things that you smell. And squalane, which is a product, and I should say it's in the product. It's one of another main ingredient, but it's something that our body naturally produces for hydration and moisture. And over time, it starts depleting, similar to like hyaluronic acid. But we source ours from plants, never animals. A lot of brands, it's a bit controversial in that sense because squalane is so rich that a lot of people source theirs from shark liver. And we were able to find it, and people and brands were able to find it.
Can we get a close-up to this here, guys?
That you can get squalane from sugarcane and from plants.
Yeah, cool, man. I love that. There
it's
you go.
Wild to see it when you have a vision. You know how it is, Mando. I mean, you sit here and this is incredible, right? And I'm sure every day that you walk in, you think like, gosh, the vision came to life. So that's essentially what República is.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And you know what? I just love how into it, how passionate you are about. It's not like, oh, here's this thing that I put together and.
No, I did not just slap my name on that. And entrepreneurship 101, the lesson I definitely learned is you better love what it is you're about to create and have that vision, zero in on it. And other people may not see it, but if you see it, you better go for it and stick to it and really want it more than anything else, because it's going to be, for some people, maybe it's hard. Their experience is different. But for me, I certainly have gone through roller coaster of events and emotions and all the things to create this product. So
I feel like there's so much of you within that product.
Oh, good.
I mean, I hear it. I hear it in your voice, and I feel it. And even just you, I'm sure you learned a lot about skincare.
Oh, yeah.
And got into it. I mean, how was that process?
See, there's the thing. At the end of the day, I sort of grew into being a beauty influencer by way of my love for skincare and beauty, which is crazy because I grew up with 3 older brothers and I was a total tomboy. But in the business, when I was sitting in different hair and makeup chairs, I would gather information every time, because there were moments where I would get offered jobs and opportunities. And, there's not always a budget for, you're a guy, so it's a little bit different. But as a woman in the business for hair and makeup, or new people touching your face every time as a woman may not have the right shade for your foundation, or can do your curly hair, if I want to rock it like this, straight. So you start learning and picking up quickly how you want to look on camera and how you want to be represented, because that makes you feel comfortable as well in front of the camera. So I say that to say that my love for beauty and skincare and all the things really grew. And I just started researching and learning. And I also met my mentor along the way, who has an organic pet care and hair products. And that was a blessing, because then eventually got connected to the right lab and all the things that you just don't even think about and that go into, when you're a customer, a consumer, you just buy something that you like, but you don't think about all the sacrifices, and you don't think twice about how that product even made it into your home.
Right.
So that was something that I wanted to explore in showcasing on It's Me, Julissa, and on my YouTube channel. So you'll see that journey. And then when you experience it, I mean, one of the biggest compliments is you telling me that you can sense my passion in
1000%. You light up. You light up for real. Like it's beautiful to see.
Thank you.
And being an entrepreneur is not for the weak at heart.
Or
it's something that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of literal blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes. A lot of tears. I'm
what,
not a crier, and I became like the biggest crybaby doing this process.
Especially to do it during a pandemic.
And especially self-funded. So
Yes.
essentially, all of the money that I've made, maybe not every single dime, but the majority of the money that I made in this business and in entertainment and on TV, I shouldn't say that in quotes, but on TV, I decided to invest in myself.
Yeah.
Like, instead of going out and buying that dream car or that house that, that I can whip around in and, into my garage or whatever, I thought, I really feel like I can fill a void in an oversaturated market that is the beauty industry. And if I do it right, and if I put my name on something after co-signing all these other brands and products as a beauty influencer, build up my trust enough when people see me saying, I love this concealer, I love this, I love that, and they go and buy it, and then they say, oh my God, thank you for recommending it, or doing my friend's makeup, or telling them, hey, and I'm not an esthetician by trade. I have friends that were also very involved in this process. And, another thing you learn as an entrepreneur, who's around you, who can you get experience firsthand from, who can you get advice from. I have friends that are incredible and own multiple brands that have told me do's and don'ts. So all of the things.
Yep.
I don't know, I probably went off on a tangent, but yeah, it's a learning curve. So I decided to bet on myself, ultimately, is the moral of the story. Instead of going out and buying that dream car, I was like, you know what? I'm going to self-fund this, and I am going to, because that's another thing. It's invoice after invoice when you're an entrepreneur and self-funding. So you're like, wow, do I really want this that badly?
Yeah.
And yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. No, and I think there's beauty behind being self-funded too, because there's so much more heart that goes into it. When we launched Hubwave Media, we had investors, we had people that were interested in investing, and Julie, I was like, no, like I wanna do this on my own.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a little longer, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna Divvy, right? Yes.
That barrel.
Shout out to that barrel one time. No, it's real though. It's real. Like, you think about, there's all these companies, whether it's in, the beauty, skincare, or media, fashion, whatever it is.
Streaming.
Right. That there's investors that come in and, all right, that will give you all the money you want or need. And I, that's, what is it? Other people's money, OPM, right? I did MOM, MON, MOM, right? My own money. That I decided to invest. And there's just so much more heart and passion. And you're like, man, I'm investing my own money into this. I'm not going to fail. Like, I'm going to go hard. And, and I think you also make better decisions when you use your own money, as opposed to like, it's just money that I was, that someone gave me for the time being. So I think the decisions are a little more well thought out. And I just think it's so beautiful that you're following your passion.
So did you go the route of self-funding because you were really a stickler about your vision and how you wanted things to be done? Or and you thought that you couldn't necessarily do that with someone else's money, or they wouldn't necessarily see your vision full through? Or was it because you did want that sort of reward of saying that, I did this with my own and self-funded and all of that?
I think it was more of the latter. It was more so me wanting to do something on my own. Of course, not on my own. I mean, it takes an army, right?
Essentially, yes, for sure.
But when it came to investors, but the number one thing was I didn't want to owe anyone any money.
That part.
Because people can be like, hey, I'll give you $1 million or $5 million. And you're like, okay, great. But they forget that you have to pay that money back.
The added pressure of that is another level. Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, no.
Now I'm ready to take people's money, though. Now I'm fully ready. I'm like,
let's do it.
Dame los chavos. I forget who says chavos, but like, let me get them the dinero.
Yeah.
But now I'm ready. But it's kind of the thing you learn to be ready for, I guess, once you have put your own money up.
Yeah. And it's so authentic and organic what you're doing. It's not like you're doing something that people just don't buy into it. Like you said, you've been part of the skincare community, and I mean you have beautiful skin.
Thank you.
So it's very believable. It's very organic. It's not like something that people don't buy or buy into. Like it's Julissa, it's skincare. It's it's beautiful.
It's something that I've definitely have talked about and demonstrated for a while. If you follow me on social, then you know this through tutorials and doing collaborations with other brands. And that was the thing for me. It's like, okay, I can co-sign other brands, and I just wanted to have that same passion in my own, because it's weird. Sometimes you think, when it's your own thing, because you're not getting paid by someone, like that's the true test of how passionate you are about something. Because I speak to you about República as if I was getting a, $1 million check from a conglomerate. And no, I'm not. But I can also speak in this passion and in this way because of all the things, the blood, sweat, and tears that you reference when being in this entrepreneurial space. So
now, when we've had previous guests on the show, we talk about manifestation, right? There's been actors and athletes and artists that come on the show and they're like, I want to collab with this person, or I want to be part of this film, or I want to, and it's happened. It's happened, and people like hit me like, yo, Mando, it's crazy. So I want to give you the stage now. What is it that you want for República?
Like, coming to the stage. For República, I mean, I want it to be embraced, and I want it to be on a global scale. I want to be in stores, and whether you know the brand story or not, you can, at the end of the day, be intrigued to walk over to see it at a Sephora or a big beauty store overseas, a Douglas, however you say it, over in Europe. And, these stores that I walk into, and Ulta Beauty, and these places that I personally, as a beauty junkie, love to walk into and discover new products. I hope one day that República is in so many stores and so many doors that people are doing that and walking over and are intrigued, and then have the same sensorial experience when they open it and smell it and say, oh my gosh, I want to know more about this brand, and how can I get, polished? And that's really what I hope. But in that, also hoping that I inspire other, women that have dreams to create something that they want to fill a void in, that they feel like they can do it. And then taking it back to Dominican Republic, having that charitable aspect of giving back, in the farming industry, especially because sugarcane is one of the biggest and main in resources, and particularly for República and the formula.
Caña.
Yeah, exactly.
You call it caña as well?
Yeah, caña. Yeah, pura caña. Caña de azúcar. And yeah, that's what, I mean, obviously, it's only, my brand is only, a product, I should say, because the brand, obviously was established before the actual product launched.
Right.
But the actual product has only been around for not even 2 months.
That's crazy.
So, of course, these are very long-term goals, but I think day by day, you never know.
But I'm already seeing the impact, Julie. It's already,
you.
and it's a great product. Like it's
one of those things that you just have to try it. Like, I obviously can talk about it all day until I'm green in the face, blue in the face. But unless you try it, and experience it, you don't know.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to be an entrepreneur today?
Definitely make sure you want it. I mean, it goes back to what I was saying, like that passion. You literally have to be so passionate about the vision that you have for whatever it is, because there's going to be times where so many people are not going to see it, and you have to, and you're going to question yourself whether it's the right thing or not that you're doing, and whether it is something you should be not wasting your time on, spending your time on. That is, I think, the most crucial is, and if you can find a mentor, oh my gosh, even I highly recommend a mentor. Do you have a mentor?
I don't.
Have you ever had a mentor?
I haven't.
It's amazing.
You know what? I don't want to say I haven't. I've had, I guess, different friends, and that I've,
people in your life.
That have helped me throughout. But like to say that, I've had a mentor, I haven't. And you know what, Julia, I'm glad you say that, because for a very long time, I felt like I never had a mentor. Just when I first started my career at 18 through, adulthood. Yeah. And the reason why I love giving back to the community, the reason why I hire a lot of young people and have our internship program, and we have, the Fresco Foundation, the reason why we have all of that is mostly because since I didn't have someone,
you want to pay it forward,
right? Since I didn't have someone to help me, to mentor me, right? I want to be that person.
Yeah,
I want to be that person for them, and it's a beautiful thing. It's something that I'm very passionate about as well.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So how did you find your mentor? How did that come about?
That was, another thing I want to say, because you were asking about entrepreneurship and you said something about people helping you. one thing about that I've learned is that I never really cared to like flex my relationships in a way where I always felt like asking for a favor was no way. It's not doing it on your own if you're asking for a favor. And as an entrepreneur, listen, if you ain't never asked for a favor, save them up. And that's when you ask for them favors because you're gonna need them. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm still learning that to this day. I have friends that are like, really, Julie, like, I have this amount of companies. Like, why don't you ask me things? And it comes from the mentality of, I know que yo no lo voy a molestar, yo no lo quiero. That mentality of like that it's something bad or like you should be ashamed to ask for a favor or advice or things that are, obviously within reason.
Right.
But
do you think it has something to do with how we were raised?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The pride of doing things on your own and
but also again, very humble. And yes, you don't want to like bother anybody.
Humble. Yes, you don't want. That's the thing. You don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. You don't want to bother anybody. No, déjalo tranquilo. No, pero cómo tú vas a preguntarle una cosa así? Things like that. That it's like no. You actually should.
Right.
And then you asked me, what was the other question? Oh, how I met my mentor.
Yes.
Okay. So this story is crazy because it was during quarantine.
Wow.
Which, how Sway? Really? Like how, Mando?
How, Sway?
Yeah, how, Mando?
Yeah.
During quarantine, my friend and I lived on Laurel Canyon. She was on Nichols Canyon. So her and I would take walks around the neighborhood and because everything was closed.
Right.
But we needed fresh air. We needed to, and I was going hard with the content during quarantine. So at one point I had burnout. Like I needed to just walk around and I love hiking. It's something that I actually fell in love with moving to the West Coast because I never really did it in New York. And the outdoors, I just experienced it here in such a different way because obviously the weather here is amazing.
Yeah.
So neighborhood walks. And one day I tell my friend Liz, who I would walk neighborhood with, I said, I'll race you to the stop sign. And we're on Nichols. And she's like, all right, bet. And she's with her dog. So we would always go with, it was all three of us. And we raced to the stop sign. And I basically didn't really, I didn't get the distance quite right. Cause I was like, oh wait, this is a lot further than I thought. So by the time I got to the stop sign, I let out a huge scream. I was like, whoo, like that relief. And I was like, dang, like, out of breath. And the stop sign was at the corner of this house. And at the house, there was this man washing his car. And he's like, wow, that sounds like this viejito, older man. Oh my God, if he sees this, I don't want him to get offended that I called him viejito, but he's older. And he's like, wow, that sounds like a scream and a yell of a winner. And I was like, that's right, bye, I won, all that. And we get to talking. And her and I were always curious about his little Fiat because he has it wrapped with puppies and images of pets and dogs and cats. And he's like, oh, that's my brand. I have an organic pet care company. And then my friend is with her dog. So they get to talking. And he's like, yeah, I also have done this and this. And I was like, my jaw and my eyes were lighting up, damn near touching my hairline, my jaw like to the floor. And I'm like, maybe you can help me. Wow. Because I told him, I was like, that's crazy. I'm in the process of trying to get a lab to do this product. I've been in development. Now at this point, I was in development for over a year and a half and didn't have any luck. And he's like, yeah, I can introduce you to my lab. And then we got to talking further. And him and his wife essentially became my mentors.
Wow.
He's created products for the biggest brands in the world. And he literally helped me in my own, I shouldn't say backyard, but 45-minute drive where I can go to this lab. And shout out to Pedro in the lab, shout
out to Pedro.
Yes.
What up, Pedro?
And everyone at the lab that like really just took time to get it right with me because I was so specific in what I wanted. And I think it paid off. Because the feedback so far, and that's the joy, because all the other stuff that you go through, but then the joy of from vision to inception to ta-da, having it be tangible and in people's homes and using it and all of that.
I'm in awe of how it happened, that you went
It's
for
crazy,
a run,
right?
you sprint, and then you meet this person that, essentially changed your life.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. Shout out to Mauro. That's his name. That's my mentor. And yeah, it's crazy.
Shout out to Mauro. Yeah. Man, that's
and Spino Organics, which is his brand. So if you have pets, his stuff is gentle enough for humans. He literally was like, he challenged me. He's like, go take your makeup off with this. And if it gets in your eyes, it's not a big deal. I was like, I ain't doing all that. But
but I believe you.
But it is. I mean, it's literally vegan, cruelty-free, organic, all the things that I wanted for my brand. And his is beyond. Like, his is super, super natural. Everything. Like, no harmful ingredients at all. Just like República, but like to another level.
That's
for pet care.
Like crazy. Things like that, it was written. Like it was written for you to meet this person on this specific day.
Yeah,
like,
the synchronicity of it all and how it happened, and the fact that, one of the most difficult times, obviously, we've been experiencing, and quarantine that was so hard on people. I literally was by myself because I don't have pets. I don't have a dog. I don't have a goldfish. I don't have anything. I went through this time by myself. I'm literally a one-man band and doing everything on my own. And then, by the grace of God, meeting my mentor. And that's why I highly recommend mentorship.
Now, this next section of the program is sponsored by Verizon. Verizon has partnered up with Oi Health to offer discounts and savings on telehealth services en tu idioma for customers and their families. And as you guys know, health, and not just physical health, but mental health too, is so important. So for this next question, I want to highlight mental health in nuestra comunidad. Julissa, what would you say you do to take care of your mental health?
I'm taking time. I mean, even my birthday just recently passed.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I'm a Libra, so them scales get to tipping sometimes, and we can be very extreme. And the point is to find that balance.
Yeah.
And for me, celebrating this birthday, I did the turn up, I got lit, and then I went to Arizona and went to a retreat and had sessions on mindfulness, classes on gratitude, joy and harmony. And it was awesome because that was truly finding the balance. Like, now I can, you get reminded of things, the gratitude journal, the next 90 days journal, the different books. Those are the kind of things that sometimes when you're going, and you're a hamster on that wheel and you have tunnel vision on your goals and your dreams, you don't take a moment. And that can lead to burnout, and that can lead to not just your mental health, but physical as well.
Yeah.
So it was nice to take a breather.
Yeah. It's all a balancing act. I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
The workload, the mental health, the physical health, because I know you stay fit.
I try my best.
What do you do to stay fit yourself?
Get Fit Tim at Get Fit Tim. That's GIT. That's my trainer.
Nice.
No, literally, that's my trainer. He's been, once I discovered him, I've been out here in LA 8 years. Him and I've been training at least 5 to 6 of those years. So once I was introduced to him, he's definitely one of the motivating factors for, but again, it's about balance. So the same way I love to eat fast food and things that aren't best for you, I like to get on my health kick and go to the gym. I always joke and say, like, I go to the gym just so I can eat.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, and then, like, I love food, and, especially Dominican food and Latin food, and, it's not always the healthiest, but definitely work out with him and train. And then on my own, I'll do things. I'll, travel with things that I can do when I was, on the go a lot, that I can do on my own, and kind of just figure it out along the way. But then there's some, what's today? Tuesday. Yeah. I haven't worked out, and I know it's only the second day of the week, but I try to get in, at least a couple days of the week.
Do you do other things aside from working out? Like, do you do walks? You do hikes?
Yes, I love hiking. That's one of my favorite things to do in the outdoors for sure.
Yeah, I got into biking recently.
Nice.
Like I bought a bike during the pandemic, and
I'm scared of riding bike in the street though.
oh yeah, no, you gotta do like go to a park or go to the beach. I do like these beach trails.
Oh, nice. So do you just pop it up on your car and then head out?
My bike actually fits in the SUV that I'm driving.
Nice.
So I could just like pop it in. I do night rides too.
Nice.
So I got a little
that mental clarity, huh?
Oh, next level. Next level. So I used to play soccer, and soccer would kind of help me out with that. Like just be in the zone and be in that moment. You know, like mindfulness is all about like being in that moment.
Yep.
That helped me just be in the moment, playing soccer with my friends and running back and forth and scoring. Like it was something that was very special to me. And because of the pandemic, obviously I'm not ready to hop back into contact sports.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I had to pick something else up that like I can clear my mind, but still like I could be, I guess, competitive in a sense where I can pedal as hard as I can and then
you're
just
competing
like
against yourself in
pop
a sense,
up, right? But it's so dope. Like I'm a Pisces, so I love being next to the water.
Yes.
Libra and Pisces, you know, Pisces, we good peeps, you know?
Yeah.
And
best friend, one of my best friends and assistant is a Pisces.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Liz Maris. Yeah.
Liz?
Yeah, Liz
Oh,
Maris.
nice. What's up, Liz? Yeah. What's up, Liz? She's a Pisces? I know I liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you had something that you can tell a younger version of yourself, like let's go back, 15 years, what would you tell yourself?
Don't operate in fear so much. Let go of the fear. I pray about it to this day, all the time. It's a constant thing where don't get in your own way. Stop getting in your own way. And calm the nerves and trust yourself more. That's something I definitely would tell myself.
What is it called when you have impostor syndrome? Have you ever experienced that?
I'm not quite sure of what the definition of that is, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I see the term a lot, but I haven't fully researched what it means.
Yeah, so impostor syndrome is something like someone's gonna be like, no, that's not exactly what it means, Mondo. It's something. It's something like when you don't feel like you have earned your space.
Oh.
And sometimes people have imposter syndrome when they're in a room with a group of people, or when they're in a certain position and they're not sure of themselves. Like, is have I earned this?
Like, you know you're great at it, but you are second guessing yourself.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I've experienced that. Hello. You know how long I've been in entertainment? Come on now. But yeah, just in life sometimes too. And that's what I was saying about the nerves. Sometimes even the nervousness of like, you want to talk more or faster or this or that, or, and I can be very bubbly and hyper and all these things. And that breathing, that mindfulness, that living in the moment, that releasing of the breath, all those things, I think could help with that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly have helped me without even knowing the proper term, but yeah.
Yeah. There's something that I think you can relate, because I've heard you say something along these lines. When I started in radio and in television, in the entertainment business, people always wanted to kind of like put me in the corner or marginalize me as a Latino host, right? So it was almost as if I can't speak English, without an accent, right? Like as if
I can't. I've tried. No, I mean, I do try. I literally try.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like our in Spanish and in Mexico, they say mocho, right? Where it's like your Spanish is todo mocho, or your English is todo mocho.
El español mío está
like,
machucado.
Yeah, no, but like when it comes to, my English, I speak fluent English, right? Obviously. But networks and brands would often put us into these like, oh, well, he's a Latino host. Let's have him do, a Latino channel, or let's have him do.
But do you think you can fully host in Spanish?
I have. I have in the past. Yes, I have in the past. It takes a while for my Spanish to come back fully. Spanish is my first language. Right now, it's pretty mucho. Yeah, but I think it's something that I wish in the entertainment business they didn't like push us into this corner as
tripping.
much.
I definitely feel like now I for sure have seen you host in Spanish.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But
I'm talking like on the news, like on some Univision, Telemundo type hosting in Spanish.
Yeah. Well, with the stuff that I've done
not the cool Spanish, not the Spanglish.
Yeah.
I'm talking straight, like knowing the proper words and terms for things.
Right. No, I've done the cool Spanish. I MTV3 stuff.
Yeah.
And other things like that, but. No, to be full on, like, deja ser un noticiero Univision right now, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
You're like, I don't see that for me.
But, I guess my point is, I just think it's unfortunate sometimes that they put us into this box, right? Like, oh, he's Latino, she's Latina. Let's have them do, Spanish programming. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, like I want to do, English. I want to do the MTV proper stuff. I want to do, not just the tres stuff.
Right.
And that took me a long time. To make that jump. But like when I first joined, the network, when I first, was in part of Viacom, I had that happen where it's like, oh, well, he's Latino.
Right.
Let's have him do MTV Tres.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, I want to do MTV. Like, why can't I do MTV?
Like I grew up watching it. I've been influenced by it. Why can't I do it?
So it took a while for me to be like, do MTV stuff and MTV2 stuff.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? How can we push forward?
That is a great question. Ultimately is just being knowledgeable and showing that you're fit for the job and that you're great at it and that you earned the space and position to be in it.
Yeah.
I think. Because you can't deny talent. You can't deny preparation. You can't deny when someone is great at what they do. No matter what they sound like, look like, walk of life, none of that. If they're great for the fit and the job, hire them.
Yep.
Whether their last name is Gonzalez, Hernandez, Bermudez, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If they're great for the job and they're a fit, hire them. That kind of when I first got to BET, I think before I even opened up my mouth, people were like, she mixed race, she half black, half white. And then obviously they're like, oh, she got to be Latina with that accent, right? And then it was like a big deal. But was it really? Because ultimately, Latinos, we watch BET. We listen to all the genres of music that they play, the hip hop, the R&B, the jazz, the soul, all that.
All of it.
We are influenced by it, where we watch it, we grew up on it, in some households more than others. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, it shouldn't be that shocking, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To have a Mando Fresco hosting on MTV that's not MTV3.
Right. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Right, 1,000%. And I'm glad that you mentioned that too, because I feel like when we watched, BET and I felt like I was watching myself. Like when I was watching Fresh Prince and Martin and like these type of shows, I felt like it was
heavily influenced by Daisy Fuentes' first Latina on MTV. Are you kidding me? I had a full circle moment with her. I shot a Kohl's commercial with her in South Africa, and I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
But yes. Sorry,
wow.
I got excited. I cut you off.
No, how was that moment for you? Like,
again, full circle, man. It was like crazy. I couldn't even believe it. And she's so cool. And we follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
And, she'll leave comments. And it's just a wow moment, because to get to work with people that influence you directly and in such a way, and that feels surreal, and it's something that you are proud of, and you think to yourself, well, I might be doing something right here. Let me stick to it.
Yeah. You've done a lot of amazing, great things.
Thank you.
What would you say is that moment that's closest to your heart?
Ooh. I mean, I'm gonna speak current day, and of course, it's not to be like plug, but starting a skincare line. Absolutely.
Does it feel like your life's work?
I mean, I don't, where I'm at in my life, I guess so, but I have, God willing, so much more living to do that maybe it'll change. I don't have kids, so I would hope to think that one day it will be my kids, that I can say is absolutely part of my life's work, and, are great human beings. Who knows? But yeah, I guess current day, it feels like life's work.
What would you say?
Influencing, the youth, hopefully.
For sure. Yeah, no, I say that because I feel like it's a little bit of everything that you've done. Like, you are the face of this product. You've been the face of other products. Mm-hmm. When it comes
I'm actually more behind the scenes, because I want it to stand on its own, and I had a hard time with, like, do I want to be the face? And I want people to explore it. Yeah, I guess, yes, you're right. But I want people to explore it in a way where, if you know something about me, and if I'm behind it, and you understand and my journey, and you want to support it, great. But if you walk into a store and don't know República from a hole in the wall, aesthetically, hopefully you walk towards it and you're drawn by it. But either way, I just want to put out as much greatness as I can.
Yeah. No,
on all fronts.
I love everything about it, honestly. Like, and I'm not just saying this because you're my friend. You're on, our show.
Yeah, your show.
I'm saying this because I truly mean it. I feel like everything about this product is great. I'm going to purchase República.
I'm going to leave you that one.
Are you for real?
Well, you already opened it.
You're like, I can't return it now. I can't send it out.
Sell it now. No, but I would love to gift it to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And I will
And you guys better try it too.
Yes. I'm going to purchase the guys here a few yes. Where can they get it?
Republicaskin.com.
Republicaskin.com.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
I love that. Any upcoming projects aside from República and all the amazing things you're doing with that? I know you were recently, acting with Al Pacino, bro. What? No big deal.
Hunters. Oh my gosh. That was, Amazon Prime. That was a show that I put myself on tape. I read the script in one day. I literally only had a few hours anyway, because when I got the audition, it was the day before I had to submit my tape, and it was in the afternoon. So towards evening actually. So I was enthralled from the minute I started reading the first page. I said, this is great. Got to reading, then started preparation, and I went in and I put myself on tape, and I booked that off tape, which was crazy. Shout out to Jonathan over at Hot Shots Self-Tape.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan.
Yes, he coached me, put me on tape, and we sent it off into the world. Didn't hear anything, and then it came back and was like, hey, we want to offer you the part. And I was like, what? Because acting for me is something that I've always loved. I, again, went to performing arts high school for it, and studied drama and theater arts, and Talent Unlimited High School. Shout out to everybody that, Upper East Side. And yeah, it's always been a love-hate relationship, because that's something that you don't mess around with. Acting is a whole other beast.
Yep.
And if I've ever questioned my chops and things, it's definitely in the acting front, because it is not easy. And I don't know. I just really was excited by the character and just the script. And I actually didn't even know the full cast. So the people I got to work with, it was amazing.
Yeah. When did you realize Al Pacino was part of this?
When I want to say when my agent told me that I got the part.
Wow.
And it's not that my character even had any scenes opposite him. It was just to even just be part of that ensemble cast. You know, the first thing they teach you in acting class is that you are part of an ensemble. It is not all about you, as much as we like to think it is.
That's amazing. I mean, were you doing a lot of self-tapes?
I was actually.
Yeah.
It's a balance. It's always been a balancing act for me with the entertainment stuff and then now the entrepreneurial stuff. And I never want to give a half-ass anything.
Yeah.
So it can be challenging to figure it all out.
Do you self-tape on your phone, or how do you do self-tapes?
I've done that before. I certainly prefer going in and getting that expert coaching, and if I have the time, and when I was in Atlanta, when I was working on Central Ave, which was another show that I absolutely loved doing, I was doing a lot of virtual self-taping and auditioning that way because I'm just not at a point where people are on some, hey, here's the world, take it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm always up for the challenge of auditioning. I'm never to anything for that. I will ask for an audition. I'm like, just at the very least, let me try it out.
I love the drive. I love the hustle. And I ask you about the phone thing because we've had, not fellow actors, actors, not fellow actors. I took a fellow thespians.
Thespian now.
We've had some amazing actors on the show. I took some acting courses in classes, throughout in my heyday. But it was more so it can help me with my craft. It wasn't so I can get into acting that as much. But no, I was saying that because the actors that we've had on the show, they've been telling me that they do a lot of self-tapes, on their phones, like on their iPhones and things like that.
And with self-tapes, the thing that gets tricky in general and in this business and anything that you do, right? As a person, as a human being, you are your own worst critic at times. So self-taping, can be an extra challenge because you're criticizing and you're putting yourself in front and all the nuances and all the things that before you submit it, you're gonna be in your head and you're in your own critical thinking of it.
For sure. I mean, I would record audio commercials, and I would listen again and again. I mean, the guys know when we record, voiceovers, things like that. I'm like,
yeah.
Let me do it again. One more time. Last one.
Yeah.
When it comes to your phone and again, we're talking about self-tapes.
All my tutorials I do on my phone.
Now, this section of the program is sponsored by Verizon 5G. It's 5G built right from the network more people rely on. 5G ultra wideband is available in parts of select cities, and 5G nationwide is available in 2,700 plus cities. Speaking of 5G, I want to talk a little bit about tech. What role would you say technology plays in your life today?
Besides Facetune, the app? No, I'm kidding.
You don't need that. Look at her. She doesn't need that.
No, I use my phone the most, for sure. I do pride myself in, like, when I'm doing my own shipping and fulfillment from my laptop, I'm like, genius over here, because I'm not the best with technology. But I use my phone definitely the most. And even then, I have my issues and struggles, but yeah, my phone.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice. I remember when we went out to France and you were taking, all these cool photos and things like that. You were quick to just like, bam, 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 like, let me upload and bam, and like, I love how connected you are to your followers, to your fans. I'm sure that it's very, very time consuming. Social media is very time consuming, and it's another job, but you do such a good job at that.
Thank you. And sometimes I do feel the burden of, oh my God, my content is slacking. It's slacking because it's something that I'm also passionate about. But even something as trivial as people may think is unboxing, but these brands are sending you things because they value your influence and your opinion of things. So you want to take the time to do that unboxing and shout them out and talk about the product. And if it is something that you end up discovering that you love, I'm the type that I want everybody to know. If it's a lipstick, if it's a face product, whatever, I'm like, oh my, if it's a pair of jeans, you guys need these or whatever. I love sharing that. And I love when my followers tell me things, and it does have that sense of a community. Obviously with social media, it's a two-sided coin. It's got its great things and it's got its bad things. So you got to take it for what it is and be aware and try not to let the comments, sting too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's part of it's all inclusive, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of the good and the bad, I got some last good rapid fire questions here for you.
Oh gosh.
Before I let you go.
This
Rapid fire
starts heating up.
with Julissa Bermudez. You ready?
Yeah.
New York or LA?
Oh man. This is hard. I'm gonna say New York right now because I haven't been to New York in a minute and I miss it so much. Bi-coastal. Sorry, I don't have an answer.
I'll take that. Salsa or merengue?
Merengue. Because I'm a better merengue dancer than I am salsa dancer.
Salsa, there's so much into it. Like merengue is just like, kind of vibing and having a good time, turning up.
Yep.
Salsa is like very intricate.
No, salsa, I want to get that footwork. It's the footwork for me. And the dips I love seeing it. Like two great salsa dancers, when they get to...
It's an art.
It's so good.
Yeah. Favorite Latinx food dish?
What's Latinx?
Latino, Latina, Latinx, as Esteban Oriel would say. Favorite Latino food dish?
Dominican breakfast. Los tres golpes. Mangú, salami, we say salchichón, queso frito, and huevo sancochado or frito. And, you could do a little avocado and also with the fried onions.
That sounds fire.
It's so good.
Best song to play at a party?
Anything by Drake.
Yeah, what's your favorite Drake song?
That's hard. I have no idea.
Best singer of all time?
Oof. Dang. This is a toss-up because I love Mariah Carey. Love Mariah Carey. But to debate Whitney Houston, hard.
I'll take both.
Yeah, same.
Favorite Spanish word?
Oh my God.
Yo, why does everybody always think about like a word they probably shouldn't say? We get that reaction often.
Besides coño, lambón. Have you ever heard of that word, lambón or lambona?
Lambón? No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. It's not a good word. It's basically like...
Like, does it mean like kiss ass?
Yeah, like a lambón. Yes.
Okay, yes. Lambón.
Yeah.
Lastly, what's one of your nicknames that no one really knows about?
Ooh. Juju, but I don't get called it often. I feel like people know, but not a lot. Not a lot of people. Literally, yeah, not even a handful of people call me Juju.
Well, Juju.
Oh my gosh.
I want to thank you.
I set myself up.
For coming onto Mando and Friends. It's
Thank
nothing but love for you. And I'm so happy for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
rooting for you 100%.
Same. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Julissa Bermudez. And thank you so much for watching and listening. Wait, let's do it right. You high-fived me. There you go.
And then I was going to give you a pat. We're like playing paper, rock, scissors over here.
And thank you so much for watching and listening to Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.